I remember someone saying to me once, if you wanted to convince someone to go with you on a very long trip, buy a very small map, because then...
So we're heading to the Bike Show 2025. It's in the Tobacco Dock. They're going to have lots of bikes there. It's the first time I've ever been to it. Same for you, Minjung, right?
Yeah.
So we went to the Bike Shed for the first time like a month ago, which was great. We got some food. We saw some bikes. They've got like a barber shop. But they have this show every year in this bigger place. It's not where they have their normal bike shed. So we're going to head there. But it starts at 10 and it's already 9:40. So we're already a bit late. So, you know, we've got to take the Jubilee and the Overground. And this event goes on every year, doesn't it? Once a year.
Yeah.
It's very windy, isn't it? Oh my God. And obviously, like I mentioned earlier, the weather is just typically British, doesn't know what it wants to do. It was raining, it was grey, now it's sunny, now it's windy. So we're getting every single type. We just need snow and then... So let's go. I've just recently got into bikes. A bit of context. I've done my CBT. I've got my theory booked. And I've got, and then briefly after that, I've got an assessment. And that assessment will determine how many days I need to do to take my DAS. So I'm very much a rookie when it comes to the bike world. Feel a bit of an imposter, but I'm hoping that no one will judge me. Minjung has been just dragged along for the whole passion project, haven't you?
Yeah.
But I can tell how excited she is. I can really feel the excitement radiating from her. She can't wait for this. You got your coffee?
Yeah.
Lovely stuff, let's go. So here we are at the Moto Show 2025, London. We've been here about an hour. We got here, started at 10, we got here about 11, so we're a bit late, but it was quite quiet when we first got here, but it's starting to pick up now. So far we've seen a few classic bikes, BMWs, old Triumphs, Ducatis, one of my favorites, the Honda Monkey. We saw a custom one of them. Minjung's not shaking her head because I really wanted to get that stupid bike. Yes, Honda Monkey. Yeah, but some people go around the world with it. 125, little engine, reliable. You hate it. But anyway, bikes aren't the only thing we've seen. We've also seen amazing artwork. So we saw a guy who just uses pencil and draws all kinds of things like bike engines and different motorbike themed stuff. And one of his drawings, if he hadn't have told me, I would have bet that was a picture, like a real photograph. He did one where half of the drawing was a super detailed engine, and then the other half was just the outline, so you could see the contrast. Well, amazing, amazing. We also saw around the tattoo parlor bit, there's a guy painting a bike, so he's painting like a tiger, kind of cool artwork for that. Which is cool. Yeah, so I guess we've got a coffee, sitting down, having a bit of a relaxing time. Looking at the program, we really want to check out Ewan and Charley and the team from the Long Way team. They're going to do a talk a bit later on. And that's 3 o'clock, right? On one of the stages, maybe down there. There is a map. But it's kind of difficult to find where we are in this map. We sort of know we're somewhere in the middle. We're somewhere here, I think, maybe? I don't know. We came in about around here or here. We've seen this part. There was like a kind of skating circuit. There's a podium bar. We've only explored this half, so there's like this half bit. It goes all the way around there. So we haven't explored this whole bit yet, so I'm sure there's like plenty to see, like bikes and stuff like that. But it's really cool because there's lots of variety of stuff. It's not just bikes. There was the artwork. There's also like lots of bike clothes and apparel. So there was the jackets. There was retro helmets. There were bike jeans. I really need to get some bike jeans because I haven't, you know. So cool stuff. Yeah. And also I had a fumble on the rack. I couldn't get the thing back on the rack. It's really embarrassing, but okay, anyway, we're going to explore a bit more. Catch you later. So we're back from the London Moto Show at the Bike Shed at the Tobacco House. It's been a long day, hasn't it, Minjong? We're both absolutely wiped. I think you're more wiped than me, but I'm not far behind you. We got back about half an hour ago. It's sort of, I think it ran from 10 till 6, and we basically ran it till 6. That's when we left. So we went right up to the wire. A summary of what it was like. It was great. So we ended up seeing a lot more bikes. We saw tattoo parlor. We saw, I got this t-shirt, which is cool, Triumph t-shirt. There was no changing room, so I had to literally take my t-shirt off in the middle of just in the middle of this expo, which really embarrassed you more than me. Yeah. And then in turn, I got more. You turned your back on me. But it fit, so I didn't have to like do that twice, so it's fine. I just kept it on. So that's a nice purchase. And then we basically, once we had seen a lot of things, we got some food, which was great. You got some Korean chicken. Do you want to get some of that? Yeah. Korean fried chicken. What did you get? The honey glaze. And you know, we lived in Busan for 5 years together. Korean fried chicken's very famous. It's also very infamously difficult to replicate, especially outside of Korea. What's your verdict, Minjong? It was really good, wasn't it? Yeah, it was excellent. They did it with chips, but if I'd closed my eyes and I'd eaten it, I could have told you it was Korea. I wouldn't have been able to tell. It was that good, the quality. I got a beef brisket. Was it beef brisket? Yeah. Brisket bun, which was great. And then as it got to, I'd say about 1:30, we decided to go into so there was like a hall. It was kind of a hall. It was towards here, I think. I'm not really sure where it was. I think it was here, Dock Gallery. So you come through, all the food were outside here in the row. We came in there, we went all the way round here. We looked at these different parts. We came out, these were all the stalls, that was the Korean place. And then we walked up here, outdoors, and then you could see these doors. And just as we got in here, the long way home setup was there. So the first thing we saw was Ewan McGregor's Moto Guzzi California bike that he went on his trip, the recent one that he did long way home with Charley Boorman. mysteriously gone. Charley's bike, it's gone. Which was amazing to actually see the bike. We only watched the latest episode the night before, which was crazy. So to see it there in the flesh was mad. Charley's wasn't there at first, and then we went in. They had an event where the MotoGP started at, was it 1 o'clock, and that ran for 2 hours, and then 3 p.m. was the Ewan and Charley event. So Minjung was like, let's sit down and get a seat before it gets too mental if we want to see this. And I was in and ahhing, and we eventually sat down, got a seat. It was really hot in there, and it just got more and more hot, didn't it? There was no air conditioning in there, and it was getting pretty hot. But we watched the MotoGP. You loved that, didn't you? The MotoGP was great. And then it started to get more and more busy as obviously the build-up. There was no sign of Ewan and Charley at that point. This was like an hour before. Then I went to the toilet and I decided to go out because the toilets in the local bit were quite small. So I went out back into the main venue. And as I went out, I then saw Charley and Ewan. And obviously, you know, I watched the original Long Way Home back in 2006. It came out in 2004, but I watched it in 2006 when I was at school. And I was like 15. Made a massive impact on me. So obviously Ewan and Charley, big heroes of mine, saw them and they walked past me. So I like walked round and like instinctively said, ask Ewan for a photo, which he kindly did. And then I said some nonsense like, you know, your long way round trip meant a lot to me. And it was just, I felt so embarrassed, didn't I? When I got back to the seat, I felt really embarrassed, but they were kind of, there was then a convoy of people following them and a camera and security as they went back into the main hall. And I was just trying to get back. Then they locked the doors down. And it turns out Charley's bike wasn't there because he rode his bike into the thing. So I'll show a little picture of his bike. And then, yeah, the show was great, wasn't it? They went over kind of like the old original series. It lasted about an hour.
I remember someone saying to me once, if you wanted to convince someone to go with you on a very long trip, buy a very small map, because then you can look that far. You know? So
yeah, it's one of the few times I can look back at my life and I suppose our lives and realise that this one decision changed our life, because
huge.
I called Dave and Dave said to me, look, don't bail out of Mongolia because it's hard, because you'll look back and enjoy, you know, those are the bits you look back and enjoy. And he said, you can see that this country's touching all of us. It's so beautiful and the people are so friendly, and we've had these experiences with the herdsmen, and it was just an amazing place to be. He said, don't give up on it just because it's hard. And by the time I finished speaking to Dave, I said to Charley, look, we've got to carry on, we'll go straight on.
And then it was great. There was Russ and Dave as well, the producers that were on stage, and they showed footage, and it was lovely, wasn't it? So it was a great day, all in all. And it was just I think one of the things that's said about the bike community is that people tend to be quite kind and chill. And one thing I'm not really into, I'm not a big fan of huge, big events where there's lots of people, but it was so relaxed, wasn't it? I didn't have one bad experience with another person. People were really kind and well-mannered, and that's quite a rare thing in London. So it's a great thing for a newbie biker, wannabe biker like me. Great day. What did you think, Minjong?
Yeah, good.
Had a good time?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, thank you for watching, and yeah, it's been great.